How you doing? So I usually do this on Marble Contest of Champions, Champion Spotlight, but I went to Aunt May because it just looks so much better. It looks cleaner. It's more like it's edited. You can see the synergies, who they are. It just looks much better. It looks so much cleaner, and like it's not like 2 pages, 3 pages of worth of text. So it's really much better. That's why I prefer the Aunt May over Marvel Contest of Champions. So I think from now on, I'm going to be doing Champion Spotlight and Aunt May. So Omega Sentinel, what do I think of her? Wow. That's all I could say. This champion is going to be amazing. Let's just say that, okay? She reminds me a lot of Nebula. Could she be possibly the best tech in MCOC? That remained to be seen, but she's definitely going to be at least the top three. You know, I do think without synergy, she's better than Nebula. With synergy, I think Nebula is better. Uh, I think for skill players, Omega Sentinel is better than Nebula, and for and Nebula is more beginner, casual friendly champion. So when it comes to Nebula, Omega Sentinel, her damage isn't like that amazing, but it's good. It's pretty decent. So if I had to compare to Nebula, she has like Nebula has a point on her when it comes to damage. When it comes to sustainability, that's debatable. But I think this champion is more damage mastery friendly because she heals from it. Not only that, she has armor ups and all that. So I think this champion is going to. I would give her a point up against Nebula. She has a point up against Nebula. When it comes to utility, I think that's really close. Nebula is known for her utilities, but this champion, wow, this champion's utility is amazing. So I do want to give her a point over Nebula on that. So if you look at the point scale, she's up 1 point. Uh, from obviously from sustainability and utility, and damage wise, Nebula has a point on that. But when it comes to ease of use, really that's the big factor. I would say at least 1 point I give to Nebula, maybe 2 points to Nebula, because she's just more beginner friendly than Omega Sentinel. When it comes to with synergies, I also think Nebula is better. She has better synergies to go with Nebula. But usually, like why not talk about this during for the conclusion? I do it in the beginning because you get a better idea when you read her abilities. So let's read her abilities. So this champion, wow, her attack is the highest in the game. That is amazing. It's currently the highest in the game, higher than even Doom. So that's really good for someone with so much utility. It has 4,524 as a 6-star rank 4. That's just the base attack. You're not looking at damage mastery, or any type of masteries to go with it. Wow, that is really good. So she's not gonna hit like a noodle, like Captain Falcon or something like that. So, or Captain America Sam Wilson, however you want to call his name. Hopefully he gets a buff someday. But this champion doesn't need a buff. The nerf, I hope not. But anything else, this champion hopefully doesn't get nerfed. I've been hearing rumors that this champion was nerfed. So who knows if that's true or not, but we'll see. So Omega Sentinel, the good thing about her, she just needs to be a Sig 1 to gain the most from offense, but for defenses purposes, she gains like what? 800 passive energy resistance for each personal non-damaging debuff on the opponent. That's pretty good. Um, that can stack up pretty high. You can put 3 on the opponent, and for each armor up consumed by a special attack, there's up to 50% chance for Mega Sentinel to gain a new armor up. So that's also pretty good. So that will keep her pretty like for defensive purposes. That's a good thing. What else? When it comes to abilities, let's look at it. This is probably my favorite thing about her. Cybernetic nanotech, always active. Omega Sentinel nanotechs allow her to take no damage from bleed and poison effects and grant her immunity to the regen reduction from poison. So this is, I don't know if this is worded correctly because some champions like are 100% bleed or poison resistance. They can take damage if the ability is enhanced, but this one says no damage, so that's really good. That pretty much makes sense because she's a robot. You know, robots are usually immune, but she's not. She's like she's what is this called? She's resistant and doesn't look like she will take damage regardless of what abilities the blade has, if it's enhanced or not, by reading it. So that's very good. That's only could benefit her. So when inflicted with a bleed or poison effect, Omega Sentinel gain a self repair buff, healing 20% of missing health over 10 seconds. This ability does not stack and ends early if Omega Sentinel is stunned. So also if you have recovery mastery, that's an extra 15%. So you're looking at 20% times 15, that's, you know, 23%. You could be regenning every over 10 seconds. So this will obviously help you in the beginning of the fight if you're running damage mastery, and also if you're running willpower, you get that extra 3% regen. Not willpower, recovery mastery, 3 points, you'll get that extra 3% regen. But this will be such a, like, for so many nodes like biohazard, cow drops, bleed nodes, poison nodes against Morningstar, Squirrel Girl, any abomination, any champion that can bleed, poison you, you're just going to be healing. She's going to be a healing She's going to be a healing machine. She's gonna be like Diablo in some nodes. When you combine her or utility and stuff like that, wow, dude, this champion is going to be so amazing in some certain fights. That's all I could say. Her incinerate max to 20. Wow, this thing is going to be amazing in certain fights. Looking at deep dive, you know, she did over 100k uh with 10 stacks after you fired a special 3. 100 over 100k. Given that was a 6-star rank 4, but keep in mind, you don't know what masteries they're running. Uh, you know, and that was with 10 stacks, not with 20. 10 stacks. She did over 100k with a 6-star rank 4. Um, Imagine if he was running the, full synergy and as well as damage mastery, you could be double that. So that's over 200k with 10 stacks. So if it was 20 stacks, it would be over 400k. So wow, this champion in certain fight is going to be amazing. Like any champion has like have high prowess, because when you look at the special 2, let's look at a special 2, attack 2. The last hit inflicts an incendiary debuff on the opponent, an additional one for each personal non-damage debuff on the opponent. Against mutant, inflict an identical plasmic debuff instead. So the last hit inflict an incendiary debuff on the opponent, an additional one for each personal non-damage debuff. So that can stack pretty well. Not only that, when it comes to awaken ability, Omega Sentinel special attack 2 inflicts an additional incendiary debuff for each prowess effect on the opponent. So against mutants who have a lot of prowess, you'll be like literally double the damage against certain mutants. So you can be looking at like super high damage against mutants who has so much prowess, and you just need her to be awakened. And also when it comes to her utility, she has amazing utility. She can obviously uh, incinerate opponent, and if they're mutants, they become. She puts plasma, I believe it's called plasma debuff, which no mutant is immune to. And what else? She has coward like debuff, so that's great counter to Kitty Pride. I believe Toad as well. Then you have electroshock static pole that heal bucks the opponent. It also has this inflict a tracking debuff by passing the effects of miss for 8 seconds. So like Ebony Maw for faster X, that's a good counter for those champions. And pausing them, it it's a little tricky. It takes practice, but that's you can pause them too, so you can like keep them for a long time on the opponent. So it doesn't say it here, which is kind of strange. Does it say here? Let's look. Should say here, right? Here. Oh yeah, Omega Sentinel adapted body grants her immunity to nullify, stagger, and fate seal. Wow! Against mutant, her ability actually cannot be modified. This champion is gonna set record in the arena. That's all I could tell you. I would say there's a 90% chance he'll break the record in the arena. She'll break the record in the arena, and I would say at least a 60% chance she'll pass over 200 million in the arena. This champion is going to break records in the arena. That's all I could tell you. So that's so good. Like, let me read it again. Omega Sentinel adapted body grants her immunity to nullify, stagger, and face effects. Against mutant, her ability actually cannot be modified. So that's like a red Magneto or white Magneto. They're not gonna do so well against her, you know. And then this immunity to nullify, stagger, and fate seal, those are a lot of mystic champions that she can counter, especially Ebony Maw because he has ability to miss opponent, and but with her utility that's inflict a tracking debuff bypassing the effects of miss, that's gonna be good against Ebony Maw. I mean, there's also nodes where you have that ability. Oh, this champion is going to be so good. Oh man. And then also her sustainability. Get an indefinite armor up whenever either champion makes contact with the same basic attack twice in a row, increasing her armor rating by 942.86. So this will be very on what rank you have when it comes to her armor up. So about 900 armor rating, which is really high. She can gain up to 10 of them. So that's like 9,000 or over nine. You could say over 9,000 armor up. That is crazy high. That is amazing. I mean, that will make her a tank. And then also the thing about this is getting an indefinite armor up buff. I'm losing my voice because I'm so like just amazed how this champion is going to be. Gain an indefinite armor up buff whenever either champion makes contact with the same basic attack. So it's not just the opponent, it's you. So you can control how many armor ups you can get by just landing the same basic attack twice. So when you have 10, this is kind of similar to Captain America Sam Wilson. When struck at 10 or more armor up buffs, consume all armor up buffs. So she's going to consume all of them, but she's going to be able to purify any stun debuffs and gain 100% chance to auto block for 2 seconds. So this is like if you make a mistake, if you have 10 armor up buffs, this is going to purify stun and gonna auto block the opponent. The auto block can trigger parry while defending. This ability requires 5 armor up instead. While Omega and Sentinel would auto block a hit, inflict an incinerate debuff on the opponent. So basically, instead of the opponent hitting you, when the opponent is trying to hit you, you punish them by inflicting an incinerate debuff or a plasma against mutants. So wow. So while struck by heavy, while auto blocking get 100% to resist the block. So this is also another thing that's amazing. So when she cannot be countered with a heavy hit, which could be an issue for some fights. Oh man, this champion is so good. I mean, this is like if Captain America Sam Wilson got a buff, it would be equal to like Omega Sentinel. Oh man, and then it would be like one of the best buff ever for Captain America Sam Wilson. If he got a buff, it would be one of the best buffs in MCOC, and that would be equal to Omega Sentinel. This is how good she is. Special attacks. So she does consume a 5 armor ups for every special attack, but if you have awakens, you gain some of them back. And then special attack by 1 second per armor up. All debuffs triggered by special attack can trigger through block. Whoa, I didn't even really notice that. She can trigger through block for her special attack. Wow, that's gonna be useful. Gonna be pain on defense probably, but that's gonna be useful too for her. Oh man, it's just there's so many things about her. It's amazing. The last hit refreshes all personal non-damaging debuffs. So if you want to refresh them, throw your debuffs, throw to your special attack 1. Really, her bread and butter is her special attack 2. You want to keep firing your SP2, and then when you have like 20 of them, you can probably keep maintaining them, you know, or you can just by throwing SP1 or stuff like that, or you can use your SP3, which will give you huge damage. When it comes to her synergies, nothing really amazing. So he has this synergy with Professor X or White Magneto, which can be useful. It gains self repair buff, gains 35% potency. So 20% times 35%, that's an extra 7% of a regen. And then if you have recovery mastery, that's 30% regen total with this synergy. So imagine that you get inflicted with a bleed or a poison debuff, you're gonna gain 30% of your health back. That is insane. It almost seems like this champion is broken. It really is. Then you have Mega Red synergy, which is not bad. You know, reduce armor break. So if your opponent has armor up, you can take them away and then inflict an armor break debuff, which is good. And really has so many synergies with Sentinel. This is nice. Shock passive, so you can like get past through like a lot of things like power shield node or safeguard. So that's a really nice synergy with uh what do you call this? Dimrod. This is also really nice. Omega Sentinel Incinerate plus debuffs. Inflict medium combo enders like a power drain the opponent for 5% of their max power. So she doesn't have power drain on herself, but with Omega Sentinel, she pretty much has turns into like a guardian, you know, in towards like be able to reduce the opponent's power. So that's really good. So like he has all these synergies with Nimrod. Uh, this is really good for Nimrod if personal shock effect is prevented by immunity. Nimrod inflicts matching incinerate debuffs instead. Incinerate reduce block efficiency by 50%. So robots plus 5% combat power rate for each shock on the opponent, max 50%. So this is pretty good for Nimrod, Mega Sentinel, but this really is really OP for what's her name? Nebula. I'm looking to do some gameplay with this synergy. I mean, Nebula by herself. I mean, with other synergy, she's already like one of the highest DPS champions in the game. This will make her even give her a higher DPS. She's going to be setting records, Nebula. So this is a really OP synergy for Nebula, and I can't wait to test that out. When it comes to resistant feudal, this is also great. Nimrod gets a 25% armor rating, and being a robot is defeated, they gain a self-repair crossfight, so they gain an extra 25% of their missing health over 20 seconds. So, wow, this is great for Nimrod, Nebula, obviously, as well as Omega Sentinel. I mean, she already regens, right? And then she gains another 25% regen when she's defeating a robot. Holy macro. And then here, having Nimrod on the team, you gain plus 225 attack rating. So this is not very strong if you have a high ranked champion, but if you're using like a 4-star, a 5-star, or even a 3-star, that's gonna be a big difference when it comes to attack rating. So basically, Nimrod and Omega Sentinel, you want them having the same team because they do well work together. Because all these synergies, most of it is from Nimrod. Look at that. You have one, two, four synergies with Nimrod. He has like as much synergies with Nimrod as compared to the other champions combined. So it's really good synergy to have Nimrod on the team, and he's actually not a bad champion himself. And Nimrod's kind of like got a huge buff through Mega Sentinel synergy. So what do I think about Mega Sentinel? Wow, this champion is going to be amazing, amazing. Wow, that's all I could say. She's gonna be definitely breaking records in the arena. What do you guys think of Omega Sentinel? Thank you.